Notts County Talk, we are live for our first ever post-match Pavis. We are at the Larwood and Vos in West Bridgford. Great pub for Notts fans to drink at before the game, after the game, and their food's quite nice as well.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Great pub. So thanks for them for letting us use it. Not the best game maybe to start this series on, but, it's a win. We've ticked that box, haven't we? And that's, I think, all we can do. I think with limited injuries, which is a good thing, but there's a lot of things that I'm not overly happy about today. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, well, first of all, if you are watching, so Harley just said hi, lads. If you are watching, please tell us your thoughts on the game, and we're going to make it as interactive as possible. What do I think about that? A lot of people said that Kings Lynn felt like an end of season game. Well, this was sort of past that.
Yeah,
this was past end of season game. This was a pre-season friendly feel. Like it was so bizarre because we know we had to react, but Dover sat 30 yards from their goal. The furthest player forward was 30 yards from their own goal, 20 yards in some points for the whole game.
Yeah.
And no matter how good a side you are, Wrexham scored 6 past Dover, but they also conceded 5 goals. No matter how good you are at breaking a side down, if they've got 30 bodies in front, 11 bodies in front of that goal, 30 yards from the goal, you're going to struggle, aren't you?
Yeah.
So very, very bizarre. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's a strange one, really. I just felt like there was no real intensity in the game. It really did lack intensity. I think we sort of struggled as well in the final third. But then again, we did play some really nice stuff. In the first half, I was sat in the family stand today because I took my daughter down to the game. And, it's a different angle. Different aspect to the game, I suppose. But we played some really nice football. Balls that were going out wide, mainly to Richardson. Matty Palmer linking up quite well as well, I thought. But yeah, as a whole, I just think we should have been finishing a lot more than we did. We had some great chances. Sam has one where he just skied it over the bar from like the 6-yard box. Wharton has one where he does the same thing with a header. He just needs to put less on it. We had our chances. We just didn't really take them. But then in the second half, the tempo was just, I want to say it was a training match, but
it was
probably worse than that. The intensity just wasn't there at all.
Yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. Andrew says that it didn't go. Doesn't sound like you missed much. In all honesty, I always enjoy going to Notts games, but you didn't really miss too much there. Reece agrees with me. Put 11 men behind the ball, so we can't do much if we can't break them down. Look, you can be as creative as you want. You have to be a really, really, really good team to break down a side that do not move. Yeah. They never came to win that game. Their season's finished. And I was thinking, 3 games to go. When they went to Chesterfield, when they went to Wrexham, they went with those games where they thought, let's try and get a win. They almost had the win in both of those games. They're demoralised by the end of it because they've lost the game late on.
Yeah.
That's going to take a lot out of the players. From an odds point of view, I know when they went to Wrexham, there was something like 22-1 to get the victory, something like 20-1 against Chesterfield. They're 40-1 against Notts. So even the bookies knew there's no chance of those coming here and getting that victory today.
Yeah.
Fair play to the fans that came. But like Reece says, there's not much you can do other than get the victory. So, yeah personally, I think the most important thing there is we've got the win, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got the win and we've not got any injuries from it. So it's, 2 more games to go for the season so far. Let's try not get any injuries. But I'd just like to see a bit more intensity, if I'm honest. Do you know what I mean? I think it really did lack. That second half, I understand they put players behind the ball, but we had our chances and it just felt like at times we were too slow when we were moving it around. And I know a lot of people sat around me were getting frustrated with it. And I understand sometimes that's how we play, slow it, wait for them to make the move and then, punish them. But I just thought today, I'm not going to be too downhearted, but I just feel a little bit like...
Some boos at the end. What do you make of that?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't understand why you'd boo a win. Like, what more do you want? Like, what can they do? I could go in 4-0, you wouldn't have booed, but if they win 1-0, you're going to boo. Like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I completely disagree with the boos. There weren't many. Let's be honest, there weren't many boos.
Yeah.
But any sort of boos, not justified. I know Will that comes with us, he was thinking sort of four goals plus today. And let's be honest, I was thinking at least 3, a minimum of 3.
Yeah.
But we've changed things, haven't we? We've rested a few players and, the overall result is 3 points. I think goal difference only really mattered if we were chasing that 3rd place spot.
Yeah.
Because we were very close. I don't necessarily think it matters too much. We'll go on to other results in a second, but
Ruben gets his 20th goal for the season as well. It's always good seeing it. I was talking about maybe him getting 25, probably off the cards now, because he didn't score as many goals as I thought he might today. But, you know, it's good for him. You know, he's class as well. And like I say, I sat in the family stand. One of the kids, like at the front, shouted to Slocum at the end of the game, "Can you get Ruben?" And he did. He went and got Ruben. Ruben came over and he was taking pictures of all the little kids. And I thought that was great of him, to be fair.
Yeah, fair play for that. Mark says, "Sound is so quiet in there today, glad didn't attend." I think that's to do with how Dover came and set up. I think there were periods in the game where Notts fans did get up for it, but I think that's more to do with, obviously, the loss on Saturday is going to have an effect, but also 6,000 there, which isn't too bad, is it?
Yeah,
isn't too bad. If you are just joining, this is the post-match Pavis that we're going to be doing after some games. We're chasing that 2,000 mark for subscribers. We're currently 70 subscribers away. So if you are watching this and you're not already subscribed, please do so. I can see more people joining as you sort of get home. So yeah, that would massively help us. When we get to that 2,000, we're having a giveaway, aren't we? Which we always like to do as many as we can.
Yeah.
Over the time, been a channel, we've probably done 7 or 8 giveaways. So really, really looking forward to hopefully getting that done. Let's go on to personnel then. I know we've talked on the walk here about some players.
Yeah.
Who do you want to start with?
I think we've got to start man of the match, to be honest. Jim O'Brien. Good to see him go off, to be fair. I'd like to see him get a full 90, but, you know, he's not had loads of game time. Might probably better to rest him, to be fair. Like I say, to avoid that injury. But, yeah, there's not really any negatives. I think he does them runs, and he was sort of pulling their defence apart in the first half with those runs that he does. You know, those really quick runs when we've sort of got the ball in the middle of the park. Class, really class. Could have had a goal as well. But it was really good.
I was thinking, how much of a difference would he have made on Saturday? Now, there's been so many games lately. For all I know, I could be saying he didn't play Saturday. I don't think he played Saturday, from what I'm thinking. If he played Saturday, I don't think he'd have let that happen. It's the same thing in my head of Michael Doyle last season, and possibly this season. I would hope Jim O'Brien wouldn't allow that. I mean, he got his yellow card today and he's screaming in the opposition's face, isn't he? Forgetting the yellow for a high boot. But
you need a bit of that.
You do need a bit of that. And we're going to need that in the playoffs.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Massively. Harley, here we go. What do you think about Harry Arter today? Felt like it was his worst game in a Notts shirt.
A few cheers when he went off, weren't there?
Few cheers.
Yeah. Could have been for Cal coming on, but as soon as people realised that sort of I was coming off, I did notice there's a few cheers. I might be looking into it a bit too much. But I've sort of brushed over it already. I just think he was trying too hard again with his passing. Just do the simple ones. Like there was one in the first half where he's wide of him and he's sort of overlapping him a little bit. And if he plays it down to Rawlinson, we're away on that right hand side, and he just tries to put a ball through. And there's 3 Dover players in the way. I just don't understand why he wouldn't go for the more sort of simple ball that's going to open him up a lot more. He's just trying too hard, I think, and I think he needs to just wind it in a little bit and go back to basics.
What I feel is the word that always comes to my mind is the Hollywood pass. He wants to play the Hollywood pass. Now, when he came to the team, I thought his instant impact, it lifted the whole team. You saw Vincent stepped up massively. We'll get to him in a second. Yeah. I think he looked like someone that wanted to impress Harry Arter. Palmer looked really good when Arter came in. But you know what? I'm massively disappointed so far. Massively disappointed. And we're at the point now where I think he's had long enough to bed in. I really do think he's had long enough to bed in.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying he was rested for the Aldershot game. I personally don't think so.
No,
I just think he wasn't played because he's not been good enough. Today, like you said, he gave the ball away. I don't know how many times he gave the ball away.
Too many times.
And his pass completion, I'd say 80% of his completed passes were sideways.
Yeah.
I expected so much better. I'm really, really disappointed, personally.
Yeah. I think he's shown moments of brilliance, you know, and he definitely probably does raise the level in training for me. And I know a lot of what football is basically the 90 minutes on your Saturdays and your Tuesdays or bank holiday Mondays. But yeah, he's not been overly impressive, has he? He's shown moments, but he's not. On the whole, I don't think he's been consistently good, has he, at all?
No, not at the level I expected.
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel like in the first few games, people were genuinely marking him. I think we're at the point now where he's not necessarily being marshalled like that.
Yeah.
Alan says he's allowed a bad game every now and then. I assume that's talking about Arter. The trouble with that, Alan, I don't think he's had a fantastic game for a while now, personally.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But again, it's your opinion. I expected so much more. This is a player that was playing the Premier League a few seasons ago, Premier League, and we've seen players like Paddy Madden come down a few leagues, Mullen come down a few leagues. Granted, they're strikers, but he's come down even further, and the performances just aren't there for me.
Yeah.
So the main man still in midfield is Palmer.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. 100%.
Taylor back.
Taylor back. Yeah, good. He was really good actually. I thought, one of the areas that you're hearing that Bertrand's worried about is his defensive attributes, and I don't think today he'd have had to use too much of his sort of defensive skills against a side that I think they've registered one shot, maybe two shots.
Well, one shot over 2 games now.
There we go. Yeah, so not bad.
We made Dover look like a decent side.
I wouldn't say that. No disrespect. I just wouldn't say that. I don't think we made him look decent.
No, neither do I personally. Obviously, we've played you twice within like a week, and there's one shot. Granted, we could have scored more. So,
credit to their fans though.
Yeah.
72 of them travelling down, already relegated. It could have been, high numbers for Notts today, with the utmost respect. So if you're one of those Dover fans travelling today, credit to you. Fair play.
Yeah, Aaron says Notts aren't killers. I can't disagree with that at the minute.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily kill the games off when we need to.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is a little bit of a worry. But I feel like in the playoffs, we'll see where that goes anyway. Reece, sorry to say it, but Chickson isn't good enough. And Taylor is the one for me. What do you think then? Chickson obviously been playing through a calf strain for a few weeks. Taylor finally back in. Hadn't seen him for I don't know how long in a starting lineup. Who is the player to go in that playoffs at that left back or possibly left wing back position?
I don't know. It's difficult, that one is, isn't it? For me, if it's left back, I don't know. Probably both actually, left back or left wing back. I'm staying Chickson. Don't get me wrong. Like I think he's had 1 or 2 bad games this season, but other than that, I mean, I think you're a bit harsh to say, he's not first choice when that's his first game for as long as I can remember. So
I thought Taylor was all right. I thought he
was good, but
you could tell there was no match practice there for some parts of the game, though.
Yeah,
definitely. But Chickson's been so consistent all season. We'll have to see what happens in the next couple of games. If Chickson comes straight back in against Altrincham on Saturday, then I think we know Bertrand wants Chickson as the main man. If Taylor plays again, I still don't think we can write Chickson off. It might be that he's still carrying that knot, or it might be that, like with Slocum and Yaros, he's just getting people match fit for competitive action during the playoff run. Let's have another look at the game. Does anyone reckon the Dover keeper's worth a punt?
What do you think?
Yeah. Distribution. I don't like his distribution, but if he was back up next season, I'd definitely take him as backup. I wouldn't have him as a starting goalkeeper, and Bertrand wouldn't like his distribution.
I think it's always
like Casillas in goal.
Yeah, he's a good shot stopper, but his distribution is, I'm being polite when I say it's woeful. The amount of times that he's took a goal kick and it's nearly gone out for a throw in, and I think he did
time wasting
2 or 3 that did go out for throw-ins. Yeah, maybe, but it definitely wasn't. I thought,
So you wouldn't have him?
No, I wouldn't personally. Not even as backup. I don't. Really.
Would you have Yaros back next season if we could? Would you keep Slocum? Would you have Tiernan Brooks? Would you go for someone new?
End of the season questions. I'm not ready for this. I thought Slocum was good today. Makes one good save. The only save he has to make.
Yeah, but that's good because nothing happens for 85 minutes, and you're forced into one piece of action all game. That's good.
Yeah, no, it is good. It is good. And it just shows that sort of that edge that he's got, that sharpness. So fair play to Slocum, because, I'm saying this from a personal perspective. If I was number 1 and then a new manager comes in and all of a sudden they're bringing in loan keepers and they're dropping me all the time, you take that person in. It takes a real professional, I think, like Slocum, to sort of not let it bog you down. And when you come in and you're called upon, you play well. And he's done that. And you cannot fault him for that, in my opinion.
I think some people would have switched off. He's never let us down when he's come back in.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the playoffs, I think Yaros is still number 1. I think he's trying to build that competition, though, personally.
Yeah.
Someone was asking me how Yaros played against Aldershot. Couldn't have done anything for any of the goals.
Yeah.
So that's nothing to do with
the reason he didn't play.
The reason he didn't play. I think he's just trying to get that competitive edge in the players, I think.
Yeah.
Let's have a look what else you guys are thinking. Apparently their goalkeeper's a TikTok sensation. This is a point, though. I want to see Bertrand name a clear number one for the playoffs. No chopping and changing, whether it be Sam or Yaros.
I don't have an opinion on that, to be honest. I don't think it really matters as long as they don't lose the game.
I would say the defence have to be sure of who their goalkeeper is. And you sort of saw that with Patterson, didn't you? That at one point in the season, Patterson was instilling confidence in the players, which is crazy from such a young keeper. I know Neil, that we've had on the channel a few times, went up to Sunderland last weekend and they were saying, he got a lot of friends up there. They were saying Patterson was one of the best goalkeepers they've seen in a long time at Sunderland.
Yeah.
I think especially since they've come down from the Premier League, which doesn't surprise me. Shaky start, but he's a very, very good keeper. But this defence, I don't think will be the defence we see in the playoffs anyway. Richard Brindley was back on the bench.
Yeah, it's good to see. Good to see. Really good to see. I
really
like Brindley,
good.
Yeah.
And would you expect him to play some part against Altrincham now?
I can't see why not. Perfect. You're at home. Expected to win it. Like I say again, with the utmost respect, we are expected to win that game. So it's a good game for him to come into. It's not going to be too rigorous, and he can come off at half time or after 60 minutes if he needs to, just to get that minutes into his legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, 45 minutes against Altrincham and possibly 75, 80 against Maidenhead would be match fitness enough for both him and Cameron for me to then play a part in the playoffs, I think.
Yeah.
Whether we'll see Cameron, I know in the training videos he's been doing a lot of the 5v5. Not necessarily the larger side of games for Cameron yet, but I think they're both very close, and I'd like to see both of them get sort of 45 minutes at some point. Yeah, at some point in the near future. So let's just have a look at some of these comments. Holly says, what would be our 11 if everyone was fit for the playoffs? We'll get into that in a second. Alan agrees with me with the defence. Quite a lot of thoughts on the goalkeeper situation, defender situation. But let's say they're fit. Do we stay 4 or 5 at the back for the playoffs? And if we do, who doesn't make it in that? Because personally, I know there wasn't a lot of pressure, but Rawlinson played the ball out really nicely today.
Yeah, he did. I was thinking that. I thought, with his feet today, I thought Rawlinson was bob on. So fair play to him, because I feel like that is one of his weak points, his footwork. But today was good. Bob on.
Lacey again. There was recently sort of another groin strain or a niggle with Lacey. So he's just going to have to be sort of touch and go up until the playoffs. I know he's injured a lot, but if you get Alex Lacey playing well for those playoff games, hopefully 3 playoff games, he's good enough to play a part in a playoff run. So personally, I think we need Cameron back, definitely.
Yeah.
I think we need Brindley back, and then it's either if we're playing a back 5, it's Rawlinson or Lacey to fill in there. If we go to a 4, that's another question, and I really, really don't know at this point. If we go to a 4, would you just straight swap Cameron and Brindley in there?
Yeah, maybe.
It's
difficult questions, because it's all good and well in hindsight saying that you'd go 5 or 4, but you've got to look at the opposition.
You don't know who you're
playing. Massive look at the opposition. So yeah.
Andy says the gaff reckons Kyle and Brindley will play a part on Saturday. Hoping that's Kyle Cameron, as we've just been talking about him. That would be really, really good. And I think, do you know what? I think seeing Brindley especially, but I think seeing Kyle Cameron starting or coming off the bench, don't you think that'll give the fans a massive lift?
Massive.
I remember when he went off, it was towards the Coppen, wasn't it? I don't remember what game it was, but it went flat. It went quite flat. It might have been Yeovil, actually.
He just is that player for Notts, isn't he? He wears his heart on his sleeve. When he saves on off the line and makes a good tackle, he's buzzing. And I can't really remember seeing much of that from a Notts player, especially a defender anyway. It's good to see that sort of that positive energy when you make a good tackle instead of just scoring goals,
Yeah, I like to see that as well. It must resonate through the whole team. It's sort of what the vibe Dor used to give me as centre mid.
Yeah.
So for anyone that's watching, Aaron says, can you explain what position playoff and who plays who? So it's all one leg for the whole thing. Second and third go into the playoff semi-final. 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th play a quarter-final. From my best knowledge, 4th play 7th. So at the moment, that will be Solihull playing Chesterfield, and 5th place 6th, that'll be us playing at home to Grimsby. And then the winner of those play 2nd and 3rd place. So I think if we were to finish 5th, I believe we would be playing against 2nd place, which at the minute is Wrexham, but could quite easily be Stockport the way things are going, or possibly Halifax, who are on a crazy run. So that's how it works. Still loads to be sorted out. I think Notts are all but in the playoffs now as well, which is really, really positive. I think Notts are pretty much secured in the playoffs.
Yeah. You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. So resave, it's 5 at the back. You go Cameron, Rawlinson and Lacey, based on what we were just saying. We'll sort of look at the game then. Let's have a look at other results, because it's always good to react to those other results at this stage of the season. Yeah. We don't really worry about other teams. Notts have got the job done today. But Chesterfield have lost at home to Stockport, another loss. Do you see them slipping out? I think they're 3 points ahead. Dagenham have Solihull and Wrexham still to play. Only team that can catch them. What do you think?
It'd be funny, wouldn't it? It will be funny, if we're being honest. But I can't see it, to be honest. I don't think Cook could let that happen. Well, Paul Cook won't let that happen. But it is a shock, to be honest with you, because there's been times this season where you think they're going to be right up there, at least top 3. So, no, I can't see him slipping out of the playoffs.
No.
But it would be funny.
Yeah, I'm the same. If Dagenham had an easier run in, they've got to go to Wrexham and got everything to play for, or at home to Wrexham, I can't remember. And then they've got to play Sol, who again have everything to play for. Dagenham have had a really good season to pull it back and get to this point, but I'm with George. I can't possibly see it happening. Andrew says Dagenham could mathematically stop us, but the last 2 games are those difficult ones as well. So that'd be interesting. I've just seen someone say, a Grimsby fan say they would like to play Notts. We spoke about this on Thursday night's video. You said you would not like to play Solihull. At home, I fancy us against anyone.
Yeah.
Not saying to win, but if we get that home game, I'd be happy.
Yeah. Away
is the problem.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. You got to look at it's the story of the season, isn't it, really? We've done well at home. I think Grimsby is one of the few losses we actually had at home, isn't it, actually? So I can see why they would maybe think that. But, I mean, if it does happen, we'll see. Yeah,
that'll be interesting. Talkie reacts, just wondering, would we take Connor Lemonhead-Evans?
Yeah.
Every day.
I think any club in this league would.
I think I know he scored. Did he get a hat-trick against Notts? Not 5-1. Yeah. But even before that game, we were saying on our Pavis perspective, our Thursday podcast series, 100% we would take him.
Good friends with Kyle Cameron as well, isn't he?
Yeah. So if you're watching Kyle,
get your agent hat on.
Yeah, tap him up, just like you did with Aaron Nemain. Not in the squad today, Nemain. Just the rest.
I'd like to hope so, because I feel like he's deserved it. I thought he's been class when he's come in. Not a player that's seen lots of game time, but when he has been called upon, he's done well. And a few goals recently as well, out of match sharpness and fair play to him. I think he's been class. I'd like to see him towards the end of the season, for sure.
I need to ask you about one player.
Go on, ask it.
Frank Vincent.
Oh, I don't know what's going on there. It's crazy, isn't it? It was like Tamworth, and it was just like steady progression going on.
Steady. I think it
wasn't steady. Yeah, he shot up.
And then he scored the goal where he's played through the quickest counter-attack at home to Stockport, slid it under the keeper.
Yeah.
What's happened?
When I think about Vincent as well, it reminds me a lot of Kings Lynn. Kings Lynn away. He's so instrumental in that win. And, it meant a lot to him. He gets a goal as well. I really like Frank Vincent. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe he's got a little bit of something. I don't know. I think he brings that energy. And that's something that I feel like we could have had today. Do you know what I mean? Because we were just struggling in the middle. And, if you've got that energy of someone who's giving that 1-2 and running off you and stuff like that, it makes things happen, and it makes movement in the opposition. So I think I'd love to see him back. I do. I think he can win you big games.
It's the same thing though, isn't it? We're talking about, I know it's different, they come back from injury. We want Kyle Cameron and we want Richard Brinley to come back in and get 45 minutes potentially on Saturday, and then a little bit longer. But Vincent's not played in a while, or had a sustained period of time playing in a long time. So again, the comments are seeing a few people in the comments having a go. But is he going to be match short?
Yeah.
I don't know what's gone on there.
I feel like there's only like match sharpness is a massive factor for sure, but I feel like as far as quality is, I feel like that's where our quality lies in defence, and we've seen that in recent weeks. I think with obviously missing Cameron, we've had some of our biggest losses, unexpected losses as well at that. So yeah, I think maybe it's a big risk, I know, but I think for the quality that they bring, I think it's worth risking.
What's your midfield? Say we go that midfield three then. Who are your chosen midfield three?
Ooh, at this moment in time, I'd probably say obviously Matty Palmer.
Yeah.
Probably one of the only real players this season that's played, I want to say more or less every game of the season, bar one or two. Just class, absolutely brilliant player. How we brought him in and kept him, and I don't know. But midfield three, it's difficult, isn't it? Really difficult.
I think for me, it's Palmer, Jim O'Brien, and Vincent. Personally, ahead of Arthur and Francis. I don't knock Francis at all. I just think I'd just rather that midfield three because I want the steal in there from Jim O'Brien. Personally,
I'm going to say for the playoffs, I would go Matty Palmer, Jim O'Brien, and Harry Arter. And I know I've just been slating him a little bit, but I do feel like in a playoffs he'd probably rise to the occasion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got
bigger game, bigger atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he really would rise to that.
Although I don't think he was necessarily impressive against Chesterfield at home. I thought he went missing in that and was hooked quite early. But that was when he just joined, wasn't it? And it was 3 games in a week. So yeah, I do agree. Let's hope that happens. Rizzy found in the chat having a bit of a laugh. Makes me laugh. Yeah, the playoffs will be good. I personally welcome Grimsby at home, not because I think it would be easy, but I think it'd be a really good game, to be honest.
I think it'd be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'd roll over Grimsby at home.
Score?
Genuinely. Probably like 3 or 4-0. We'd roll them over. I'm not joking.
No, we beat you last minute at your ground. You beat us last minute at ours. I think it'd be a good game, to be fair. I think it would be good. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that pans out. So, this has been our first post-match Pavis, obviously spin-off of the Pavis Perspective podcast. If you have enjoyed it, please let us know by dropping a like. Let us know anything else you want to talk about in the comments. It's been really good to be interactive with you guys, getting your thoughts on the game. We will be having another one of these after the Altrincham game next Saturday. So hopefully that's a bit more of an interesting game. But obviously we get the result as well, seeing 2 key players back in that defence. We're pushing towards 2,000 subscribers. So if you could help us out with that, that would be fantastic. And as always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching.